Hi everyone, so I just wanted to do a little video just introducing myself and my channel, kind of what I'm going to be making videos about, and just a little bit about me. And I did like a little Q&A on my Instagram, so I'm going to answer some questions as well. So yeah, welcome to the channel. I'm Sarah and I live in the Lake District in Keswick. I've not always lived here. I moved up just over a year ago now, because I just love hiking. I was spending practically every weekend here anyway, so it made sense. I got a job, my husband got a job, and here we are. I'm trying to not make this sound like an interview. It kind of feels like an interview, but yeah, we'll just crack on. So I live in the lakes, get out hiking as much as possible. So a lot of my videos are probably going to be me in the fells, taking you along with me, which I hope that you like. I'm also going to do, I'm going to vlog my Florida trips. So I've got three trips booked at the moment. We're going in 9 days time. There is a little countdown behind me. I'm not sure if you can see that. And we're going for 16 nights. Staying at Lowe's Sapphire Falls. So I'm going to take you along, try my best to vlog, and we'll see how it goes. I've also got a 7-night trip booked in February next year and 2 weeks booked next August, with my sister, who's not been since we were like 10, 11 years old, so like 22 years ago. So when we go, it'll be 23 years. So she's really excited to get back, and I can't wait to show her everything. This trip next week will be my 7th time going. So, and yeah, as you can tell, I can't stop going, which I think everyone who goes to Florida gets that you don't understand until you've been. And then once you've been, you're like, yeah, I need to go back like all the time. So yeah, so I'm just going to go through a couple of the questions that I was asked. So the first one was, what made you want to join the armed forces? So I was in the Royal Air Force for 5 years. Unfortunately, I was discharged because I've got a bad ankle. You'll probably see on my vlogs that I use a crutch, and have done for, say, the past, well, since 2015, yeah, so 7 years I've used a crutch. Yeah, so the reason I wanted to join, I think, to be honest, I got to the end of my zoology degree in 2010, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I didn't really know. I didn't really have like a plan. And I went to one of those careers fairs, and there was an RAF stand, and I think it just kind of started there really. Had a chat with them, realised there was a lot more to it than just sort of flying aircraft. And yeah, that sparked my interest then. My granddad did his 2 years national service, and he'd always sort of gone on about how he loved the RAF and he was so proud of his service. And my cousin was in the Navy for 12 years. So we do have a bit of a military background in our family. So yeah, I joined the RAF, and it was great until I injured my ankle, and then kind of things went downhill from there. But I would always say to people, if that's something that you're thinking of doing, then give it a shot, you know. I think if my ankle injury hadn't happened, I'd still be in now. Hopefully I'd have moved through the ranks. But yeah, that's just one of those things. And I think if I hadn't left, I probably wouldn't be living in the lakes right now. So, you know, you've always got to look on the bright side and look at the positives. Another question, what's your achievement that you were most proud of? I'd probably say my master's degree. So during lockdown, well, I left the RAF and then decided to do my master's degree, as you do, in animal science. So that was September 2019, I started my master's degree full time. And then the pandemic hit in March 2020. So for the last 6 months of the degree, I was pretty much just sat at my kitchen table, just doing, yeah, I was just working on my laptop. Luckily, my project was like data based, so I was able to just kind of crack on, and I didn't need to go to the lab or anything like that. But yeah, I ended up graduating with a distinction, so I was really proud of myself for that. And we did lose my granddad during that time, to Alzheimer's, which was really, really hard. But yeah, I got through it, and yeah, did really well. So yeah, I'm really, really proud of that. So I've got a few hiking questions now for anyone who's interested in like the hiking and the fells and the Wainwrights. So which fell are you saving for your final Wainwright? So originally I was going to leave Grange Fell because it's just down the road in Borrowdale, but it was too much of it was going to be a missed opportunity because we ended up doing it. It took us an hour and a half after work. So we've done that. So I had a look at kind of what I had left, and the Coniston Fells kind of stood out to me. So when we did the Coniston round, we missed out Great Cars and Greyfriar, as you do. So I'm going to finish on those two in November, hopefully. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have all the Wainwrights done. And then in January next year, I'm planning to hopefully do my second round in those 12 months. I think we'll see how that goes, but that's the plan, to do my second round in 12 months from January to December next year. And I'm gonna set up like a Just Giving page, and I'm gonna hopefully raise some more money for Alzheimer's Society and Alzheimer's research in memory of my granddad. And I'm gonna have a few more challenges next year that I'll tell you about at a later date. Right, so next question: what's your favourite Wainwright and why? So Great Gable, I think that's probably my favourite. And I think it was just the day in general when we did it. It was really sunny. It was a big day out in the fells. So it was one of those days where you really feel proud of yourself, and you're like, wow, I did that. I think we were out for something like 9 hours hiking in like 25 degrees, but it was great. And we did sort of the hard way up Kirk Fell from Blacksail Pass before we went then on to Great Gable. So it just felt like a really big achievement. And yeah, it's just a fell that I'll never forget. And I did it again the other week for my friend's final Wainwright. And it was just great to be back. So yeah, I plan on going again from Honister hopefully soon in the future. Definitely when I start my next round, I'll be doing that. But yeah, Great Gable, great one. And why? Final question on hiking: why did you start to do the Wainwrights? So I injured my ankle, so that was 2015, 2016, and then had a surgery, and I was recovering from that, and I was told that I would never run again. And running was always one of my things that I did. So I was, as you can imagine, I was really disappointed, really disheartened. I sank into a depression, put on a lot of weight. And then January 2017, I was on holiday in the lakes with my family, and they were going up Loughrig Fell, which is near Ambleside. And my mum was like, come on, you can get up, you can do it. And I was like, oh, I can't, but I did it. And I was like, oh, maybe I can kind of, I can't run anymore. That's fine. Let's focus on something else. So I started hiking, and I started like losing the weight, started building up my strength. And now I can do sort of like 15, 20 mile days without even thinking about it. But yeah, so 2017, it feels like an absolute lifetime ago. So by the time I've finished the Wainwrights, it'll have been like 6 years of doing them to complete them. But yeah, all of them on the crutches. So yeah, I wonder if I'm the first person to do that, probably. Right, so hiking questions done. I'm going to move on to some Florida and travel questions. When did you first visit Orlando, and have you always preferred Universal to Disney? Yeah, so I first visited Orlando in 2000, like I said before. My auntie and uncle took me and my sister, my cousins, and it was amazing. It's one of them, like, I was like 11 at the time, so I can remember bits of it, but the things that stick in my mind are the Universal bits. So I remember going on the Hulk. That was my first ever upside down roller coaster. I remember just walking through Seuss Landing, seeing the Jaws ride was there, and going on Twister. And we did do Disney, but Universal just always sticks in my head. The memories are mainly from Universal, so I think, yeah, I have always preferred Universal to Disney. She says as she's wearing like Disney clothes, but yeah, I was like, do I wear the ears? Yeah, I'll wear the ears. yeah, so I love both Universal and Disney. Love them both for different reasons, but I think Universal just tips the scales for me. It's just something about it, just the feeling I get walking through the arches, and that Islands of Adventure music as well. Just everything, it's great. If you could go anywhere else in America, where would it be? I always had, um, what's the word? A dream of doing Route 66. And I know you can jump in minibuses now and they'll take you along and stuff, but I think I would like to drive over there. I think Route 60, I don't drive when I go to Florida because it gets so busy, the roads, but I think driving along something like Route 66, I think I'd be okay. I don't know, because you're constantly kind of stopping and stuff. I think I'd really enjoy it, just seeing all like the different roadside attractions and just, you know, traversing the country. It'd just be amazing. So that's definitely something that I want to do. And I also want to visit, not necessarily like United States, but North America. I do want to go to Canada. My dad lived there when he was a teenager. He wasn't born over there, but he went soon after and then stayed there for quite a few years with my nan and granddad and his brothers. And yeah, there's something there. I need to go to Canada. I did actually look quite a few years back at emigrating just because it looks just amazing. But yeah, I really want to visit Canada. And top 3 bucket list travel destinations, I would say Canada in general. Alaska, I really want to go to Alaska. And New Zealand, I think, especially for like the hiking and just the scenery and just, yeah, but it's a long flight. And I do love flying, but that's a long flight. So yeah, Canada, Alaska. And I'd love to do sort of all of the mainland states in the US. I'd also like to go to the Alps and do some hiking. I really want to hike overseas because I've not done it yet. I think it'd be amazing. So yeah, that's all the questions that I'm going to get through today. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think this is going to be my first sort of chatty vlog. So we'll see how it went. Be nice in the comments, please. Yes, so I'm also on Instagram as Sarah Making Memories, so the same name as I am on here. So going to Florida in 9 days. We're going to be doing our pre-travel day next Thursday, going to the Manchester airport, staying at the Radisson Blu, and we're flying with Virgin on the Friday morning. So excited, just can't wait to get back. I think when we go, it'll have been over 1100 days since I came back from my last trip, which was a solo one back in September 2019. So it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be jam-packed. So I hope you follow along. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.